Hello, everyone. I, because this is a webinar, I will not be able to, unfortunately, hear your voices or see your faces, but we have the chat box available, and I would love it if you guys can message in the chat box. Hi, Matthew. Good afternoon. Jenny says hello from Toronto. Catherine, hi, everyone. Excellent. Yes, please let us know where you are calling in from. That is so weird. Um, you guys can hear me, right? You guys are good to hear me? Hello, hello. Wow, look at this. Timur from Dubai and Matthew from Markham, Lisa, New Jersey. Guess what, Matthew? I might be coming over to Markham to do my book signing. We're talking with Indigo there at Hillcrest. So maybe I'll get to see you. Dinah says California, Mitchell, Vancouver. Oh, this is so excited, guys. I'm so excited. Raymond, Zambia, Africa. Amazing. Toronto. I'm in Toronto, Anna. Awesome. Okay. Hawa, Vienna. Yes. Hi, Hawa. Catherine. Okay, tuning in. Little old blighty, and yes, I can see and hear you. Excellent. Thank you for letting me know that, Catherine. Okay, wow, amazing. So many good people. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna get right into it because we have so much to cover. We have over 300, I think it was like 330 people that have registered for this, and so some people might not be able to make it. Some people might be watching the replay, and that's completely fine. I'm going to dive right in, and we're gonna get you on the right path, okay? And Matthew, you asked when. I think it's the week of the book launch. So my book is coming out, The Quiet Achievers, coming out October 14th, and so the book will be out October. Well, the I'm thinking of doing the signing that weekend, so this 18th, 18th, 19th, something like that. Don't worry, I'll send an email out and I'll announce it. All right, so good to see everyone. Well, okay, how many people do we have? We have a lot of people already in the room, so I'm going to dive right in and we'll get started. So, hello and welcome, Quiet Achievers, to my exclusive live workshop called Quiet to Promoted: Get Seen, Trusted, and Chosen for Opportunities. I am super excited that you're here, and this is going to be a jam-packed, transformative session, I hope. And by the end of this, my intention for you is that you're going to feel more motivated and empowered to step into your authentic confidence and grow in your career. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Since you guys are so good with the chat, and I know, as quiet achievers, we love chats. We love typing rather than showing our face. So this is a perfect setup. What is the number one trait that you would say these people here? So we have Simon Sinek, Obama. We have Oprah Winfrey. We have Mel Robbins. What do you think they have that is common? Okay, you guys are quick. Love it. Great communicator, charismatic communication, visionary, says Raymond. Love it. Communication, excellent communication. Love it. You've hit the nail on the head. They all have strong communication skills. I mean, when you think about these individuals, you might say, oh, they're all celebrities. They're all part of this. They all do the same thing, but they actually don't, because Simon Sinek, he's more of a thought leader. He was a TED Talk speaker. He wrote best-selling books, whereas Barack Obama was a former president, two-time former president of the U.S., whereas Oprah, she was a talk show host, and then Mel Robbins is a podcast host. So similar, but ultimately they all have strong communication skills. And because of their strong communication skills, they've been able to build massively successful careers for themselves. And so, like I said, they may be doing different lines of work, and you may not be in doing the work that's anywhere similar to what they're doing, but it doesn't discount the fact that it's the communication skills that they carry that has helped them to go very far in their careers. Okay. So when we're talking about communication skills, what we really have to understand is it's not just about your ability to speak or the words that come out of your mouth. There's so much more to strong communication skills. And here's a great graphic of that. It's your ability to convince others of your ideas, your ability to delegate, ability to train or coach others, ability to explain complex concepts. When you have strong communication skills, you can present your ideas clearly, you can lead meetings, you can negotiate effectively, you're able to ensure that other people understand you clearly, you're able to build relationships, persuade, you get the idea, resolve conflicts. That's what strong communication skills can do for you. And this is what we're going to really talk about and dive into. Okay. And how does this relate to you? If you want to be recognized as a trusted and confident leader in your career, then ultimately strong communication skills are essential. And what's the good news about this? Okay. Because I don't want you to feel as though, oh my gosh, I'm not Oprah Winfrey. I don't speak like Barack Obama. I don't talk like Mel Robbins or Simon Sinek. That's not what it is, because the good news is that you already have strong communication skills within you. You just need to learn how to express those skills. Okay. And so what you're going to find today is that what I'm going to teach you, and if you've been following me for a while, let me know actually. Let me know if you've been how long you've been following me for, because I've been on YouTube for now like nearly 10 years, and I've been teaching all kinds of concepts and in and around communication. And what I'm going to share with you today about communicating confidently and showing up as a calm leader at work is unlike anything you've heard anywhere else, hopefully. Okay, so get ready, because it's not just about the words that come out of your mouth. And we'll talk about that. 6 years, last 5 years, almost 4 years. I've been following you since lockdown, 8 years. Oh my gosh, you guys, amazing, amazing. So happy to hear that. Okay. So, hello, fellow quiet achiever. You're in the right place if, and let me know as I go through this, if this resonates with you. You are an introverted, hardworking professional in the corporate world, and you've been feeling that you've hit your goals, you've earned your degrees, you've worked hard in your career up until now, but you feel as though you could be making a bigger impact. You see others getting promoted or praised, even though you feel you're just as capable, if not more. So others are getting credit for maybe the work that you've been doing, but for whatever reason, they're getting the credit or they're getting the recognition, as an example. You stay quiet in meetings because maybe you're afraid of saying the wrong thing, you're afraid of being judged, you're afraid of being criticized, or you shrink when it's your turn to speak. Okay, so tell me if this resonates with you. This is something that I hear most common with my clients and with my audience, and you guys are in my audience. So tell me if this resonates, where you walk into a meeting or you're sitting in a meeting, even if it's over Zoom, and everyone's, sharing their opinions, and for whatever reason, when it comes time for you to share your opinions, something your voice cracks and you're not able to express it clearly. You get super nervous and anxious, and it just doesn't, you're not able to deliver it in a convincing way. Okay, share that if that is, say, me, if that's me. Perfectly me, says Lucy. Yes, definitely me, says Anna. Okay, great. You've been told that you need to speak up more, but no one has ever really showed you how to do that in a way that feels natural to you. And this is something I want to really get into because, we've all been told, maybe as quiet individuals, that, oh, you just need to speak up more at work, and you'll get the recognition you need, you'll get the credit, you'll get all that stuff, you'll get the success that you want. But who has really taught us to speak up more? You learn, you can go on YouTube, you can go on I'm on YouTube, you can go on YouTube, you can go on ChatGPT even, to maybe try to teach you these things, but ultimately it doesn't feel natural, does it? There's still something that is holding you back from being able to deliver it in the way that maybe the video or ChatGPT is trying to get you to do. And we'll talk about why that is. You're done holding yourself back to fit in. So now you're at a point where you're saying, I want to take up space, but I don't want to feel fake. I want people to recognize the work that I bring. I know I have so much to offer, but I don't want to be fake about it. And you want to be respected and seen as a leader, but without having to act like someone you're not. Okay, so if this is you, you're in the right place. All right, if this all resonates, would love to see that. Agreed, that's definitely me, Amy. That is so valid. You're not in the right place so this is not the right place for you if you're thinking that I can just give you a quick fix to improve your communication skills or overnight confidence boost without doing any sort of self-reflection and reprogramming work. Okay. This is not the right place for that because the truth is, I'll tell you right now, when it comes to communication, when it comes to confidence, it is a journey, which is why my book is called The Quiet Achiever, Your Journey to Authentic Confidence. There are phases, there are steps, there are actions that you need to take to get yourself from where you are right now, second guessing yourself, maybe doubting yourself, to a place where you feel ultimately truly at ease, calm, confident in what you bring to the table, in who you are and how you show up. Okay, that's the whole transformation that I want you to experience. So put a Y or just me or yes or whatever you want to say in the chat box if you feel this is true. You say, if I want to move up, I have to pretend to be someone I'm not. Tell me if this is something you agree with. Okay, I see lots of Y's and yeses. Right. Or you say, I'll never get promoted unless I act more extroverted. Okay, so I have to act like an extrovert. I have to act like someone I'm not, even though I'm a big introvert, just so you know. You guys probably know that because I've been talking about it like crazy the last few months. I'm a big introvert. I need to regroup after talking to lots of people. And I prefer my own energy and space. And I don't want to be someone that has to act like someone else. It is very draining. And so you might feel the same way. People only take you seriously if you're loud and outspoken. So tell me if you feel that way, that, oh, I have to be loud, I have to be outspoken, I have to be extroverted. To be seen as a leader, I need to fake confidence. I need to act. I need to pretend. Okay. I'm getting lots of yeses here. Good. So you guys feel that way, right? And you know what this means? It means that you feel like you need to, and I'm just going to run through these very quickly. You need to pretend to be an extrovert, even though it feels unnatural or exhausting. And maybe you have been doing this at work where you're feeling as though, yeah, I have to put on a face when I go to work. Otherwise, people won't know what I have to offer. Or you end up over explaining or rambling so that you can try to sound authoritative. You try to really, you try to say more things just to try to ensure that your point gets across. And sometimes it ends up not making total sense because you're rambling and it's not concise and it's not clear enough. Okay. You talk over others or interject yourself abruptly, or maybe the opposite. You don't say anything at all to try to make your voice heard if you talk over others. You feel as though you have to talk over or you interrupt because everyone else in the room is talking so much. The only way is I have to interject abruptly. Avoid asking for help because it feels like a sign of weakness. I know a lot of quiet achievers run into this where we feel we could do it all on our own. We don't need to ask for help. And then it feels like you also need to brag about your efforts so your contributions are recognized by others. Who here thinks that really being to grow in your career, you have to brag? Okay, let me know write the word brag or something, make it super simple. If you feel that bragging is you know, part of it. Linny says brag. Catherine, I'm a bit of point four from the bottom. Yvonne, yes, yes, brag. It's unnatural. Yes, I agree. And so what's going to happen is when you do these things, okay, when you feel as though you have to pretend to be someone else, you have to fake confidence, you have to act like an extrovert, when it is so against our nature as quiet achievers, it's going to leave you feeling icky, fake, anxious, uncomfortable, annoyed, drained, exhausted, and done. I wrote done because it's like you just feel done. Like that's how I explain things sometimes when I'm just so over it. It's you just feel like I can't keep doing this. Who here agrees with all of this? Is that on a regular basis you're starting to find that you walk into work or you go into work feeling this unsettledness, you're feeling this discomfort, this anxiety, because it has to do with the fact that you know you're meant to grow, but you feel like you have to start acting like someone you're not because the hard work, it's not working anymore. Just the hard work alone, it's not enough anymore. It feels as though you have to do other things and that's what's causing you to feel this way. Yes? Carla says yes. Matthew, I definitely agree. Joey, I agree with this. Right. Okay, good. So we're all on the same page here. Okay, so let me share something with you, a new perspective. How about this? How about you're not going to do that? Okay. You're not going to act fake. You're not going to become someone we're not or you're not. You're going to do it differently. And that is what will lead to new opportunities, promotions, and potential job offers. And the differently is what we're going to talk about today. All right. How's that? That sounds good, right? I'm not going to talk about being fake. I'm not going to talk about being or acting a certain way. Ultimately, it comes down to authenticity, and we'll get into that. So this here is one of my clients, Marwa, and she was a senior manager in HR. And when she came and wanted to work with me, she shared with me how she was having conversations with executives at other companies. So she was going for interviews, she was going for meetings, being poached by different opportunities. And she shared with me the way that she was communicating, some of the stories she was telling. And I can tell you right now, it had nothing to do, she wasn't getting these opportunities. It had nothing to do with her experience. She was in working in a Fortune 500 company at a senior level, had nothing to do with her expertise or her knowledge, her skill set, her work ethic, nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with her energy. It had everything to do with the way that she was coming across. When she was telling her stories, I could feel the anxiety. I could feel the self-doubt. I could feel the over rambling, the need to say lots and lots and lots of details, give lots of details because deep down inside, she felt that she wasn't enough if she didn't do all of those things. And what ended up happening was these opportunities were turning her down. These individuals were turning her down, companies, simply because of her energy, her approach, not so much her experience, her hard work. So who can agree with who has experienced this before where you go, oh my gosh, I know I can do this job or I can take on this opportunity, but for whatever reason, they can't see it. They don't see it, they can't hear it, it's not translating well, it's not delivering well. So this was Marwa, and this is in her situation. And so we worked together. I helped her with the strategy, helped her to gain more confidence in how she was articulating her words, her stories. And so she says it here, I gain more confidence in how I communicate. You've taught me to believe in my value, and that is certainly a mind shift. I realize communication is simpler than how complicated I made it to be. Communication is not about the words that come out of your mouth, and we'll talk about that. All right. Yes. Tell me about it. Kay, excellent. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Linda Rayner. I'm the author of the upcoming book, The Quiet Achiever, career strategist, leadership and communication coach, keynote speaker, corporate trainer, whatever you want to call me. But ultimately, my mission now is to share this message of the Quiet Achiever, helping you, if you are a quiet achiever, to step into your authentic confidence. Okay, and so the book, The Quiet Achiever, comes out October 14th. I'd love to hear in the comments who here has already gotten their copy. Say me or yes or plus one. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Would love to see it. Yes, you guys have already ordered. Yay! And I've gotten some great endorsements for this book. One is Jessica Chen, author of Smart Not Loud. She says this is one of the best books if you don't consider yourself the loud type and want to find meaning and purpose at work. And Madeline Mann, who you might know, she's a colleague of mine, author of Reverse the Search. She says this book is a powerful invitation to reconnect with yourself and reclaim your voice. And by the way, you'll see this little QR code. It is for you. If you haven't yet pre-ordered the book, you can just click on that and you'll be able to pre-order, and make sure that you submit your name and email in step 2, because then you'll get the bonuses as well. But I have some other things that I want to share with you. So you could do that now or you could do that later. Okay. So the big vision I have for you, where you are going, okay, because you're here, you are going to start confidently sharing your ideas and perspectives at some point. You are going to trust your voice and no longer overthink what you say. You're going to be seen and heard for your contributions. This is what I feel this is going to happen for you at some point. You're going to influence decisions with ease, even in high stakes conversations. So with your directors, with your executives, you'll still be able to influence. Doesn't matter the level that you're at. You're recognized as a trusted, impactful leader. And leader doesn't necessarily mean title. It just means that in the role that you're at, in the company that you're at, you're seen as a leader in that position. Okay. People look to you for guidance. They look to you for advice. They're not looking to you to just do things. Okay. That is how you want to start positioning yourself. That is how I want to help you to get to. That is where I want to help you to get to. Okay, position for career growth. So by the end of this workshop, my intention is that you're going to walk away knowing what it takes to communicate and present yourself as the confident and trusted leader that you're meant to be. You're going to feel empowered, inspired, and uplifted to move forward in your career, because maybe some of us, with the market and everything going on in the world, we're feeling a little down and a little demotivated, and I want to re-inspire you. You're going to also hopefully grab a copy of The Quiet Achiever before you go. And you're also going to walk away with a special gift I have for you, which I'll talk about at the end. Okay, so how do I know to help you with this? What do I know that I can help you with this? Because I've been where you are, and I have felt the exact same way that you have or you do. Okay, so that's me. I'm on the left. I'm the older sister. That's my younger sister, my mom and dad. And I was born here in Toronto, Canada, but my parents were refugees from Vietnam who came to Canada after the Vietnam War, and they came with nothing to their name. And, as a daughter of immigrants, I grew up with the very clear mindset and an approach to life, which was work hard, study hard, get good grades, and one day when you finish school, you'll get a good job, a solid, high-paying job, and your life will be set. You'll live happily ever after. Who here was raised with this mindset? Whether or not you were an immigrant, it was this thing that was instilled in us. I mean, I'm a millennial. I think all millennials were raised with this mindset. I feel like that, just study hard, work hard, and you'll live happily ever after that. Right? Yes. Diane says yes. Dinah says yes. Xiaomei, yes. Okay. All right. So we're all in the same boat. And so that's what I did. I studied hard and I eventually moved into the accounting path. I went down the CPA path and I worked at a Big Four accounting firm. I realized very quickly, oh no, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. I don't want to be an accountant for the rest of my life. I felt like there was more that I could do. So I ended up leaving the accounting world, ended up getting into recruiting because I knew that I was good at working with people. And I always knew I was good at getting jobs or helping people, helping myself get job offers. Number one, I got for all the Big Four accounting jobs, companies offered me job offers. I remember when I was in high school, I got these office jobs. It was just a natural thing for me. And so I ended up going into recruiting, and that's where I realized, oh, there's a lot that I could do with people who don't know how to get jobs. Because even though I was placing hundreds of people into companies all the way up to C-suite level, there were thousands of other professionals that I had to ignore because they did not know how to communicate their value. They did not know how to sell themselves to me. They did not know how to articulate what they brought to the table. And whether or not you are job searching, I want to say this. This is a skill you need for life, okay? Whether or not right now you're looking for a job, or maybe later down the line you're looking for a job, or if you end up starting your own business, ultimately the ability to communicate your value is vital. And these people did not have that skill. So what did I do? I decided to put myself onto YouTube, as you know, and I've gained nearly 1 million subscribers in the process over the last 10 years. And I've helped thousands of professionals to elevate their careers, elevate their communication. CPA Canada Pivot Magazine reached out to me early last year, and did an article on me calling me a strategist for success, which is so funny because I was the one that got let go out of the Big Four accounting firm. I did not follow the traditional accounting path, but they wanted to showcase the fact that I became a success, even though I went the non-traditional route in my career, going from an original CPA. And then you might have also seen me on LinkedIn Learning Instructor, 2.6 million learners. You've probably seen some of my courses. I'm just sharing all of this. These are the career transformations that people have had by learning the strategies, the communication approach that I've shared over the years and that I've taught and coached them on. And this is just a small, tiny little handful. So the reason why I'm sharing all of this with you is just in case you didn't know who I was, and you can trust that what I have to say for the next, half hour that we have left, that there's credibility behind it. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this, and hopefully you can trust that what I have to say is true. So what's my mission now? My mission now is to help quiet achievers, because I resonate so strongly. Over the last 10 years, I've gotten to know this certain group of my audience who I call quiet achievers, who are the ones that work hard. Yes, maybe we're introverted, maybe, we're not the loudest people, but we work hard because we're high achievers. We have goals, we have dreams, we have visions for ourselves. We know what we want in life, but for whatever reason, society, our families, culture, whatever, has made us feel as though us being quiet or wanting to keep to ourselves is not as attractive. And so we feel out of place in the workplace, especially in the corporate world or even in the business world. We feel a little bit out of place because we're not like those loud, extroverted, charismatic people. And so my mission is to help you, if you're a quiet achiever, to shift from second guessing yourself, doubting yourself, maybe feeling a little insecure, feeling anxious in your communication, to expressing yourselves as confident, trusted, and calm leaders at work so that you can eventually move up to the next level in your career, whatever that looks like. I'm not saying you have to be a C-suite person, but whatever growth and moving forward in your career looks like for you. Okay, that is my mission for you to help you. Three key elements to become, I should have rewrote that. Three key elements to becoming a trusted, respected, and recognized leader in your career. So what are the three key elements that, based on my 10 years of doing this type of work, and even before that as a recruiter, that I've learned and seen as common patterns between those people who have grown quickly in their careers versus those that have not? One, I mean, the biggest one, I think we've already outlined it, is communication skills. But it's not just communication skills. It's not just the ability to communicate, because once you have a solid grounding on your communication, then you start to also feel more confident in yourself. Confidence is the energy that you also need to have combined with communication skills. But you don't just want communication skills and confidence alone, because that may not connect with people, may not fully resonate with people. Even though you're a strong communicator and you have confidence, you also want to embody your authenticity. Okay, these are the elements that I truly feel makes a calm, confident, trusted leader, is someone who has communication skills, someone who's confident, and someone who's authentic. And what does authentic mean? Authentic simply means that you feel comfortable and at ease in your own skin. So that means when you're talking in a meeting, you're not shaking, your voice isn't cracking, you're not nervous. You are completely at ease because you accept who you are, you're comfortable with who you are, and that shows through in the way that you communicate, and it comes across confidently. Okay? Who here wants this? Who here wants to be able to become this and have and embody these three skills? Crystal says, "You go, girl. Way to rock it." Oh, thank you, Crystal. Diane says, "Me, amazing." Catherine says, "I could do with a bit of that. Love it." I love this. Raymond says, "I need this." Amazing. Okay, so I just shared that. Once you gain strong communication skills, you'll feel more confident. As you feel more confident, you'll feel more comfortable, and then you'll be able to express your authentic, natural self. That is the goal ultimately in life, is for us to just show up as ourselves, is it not? It's not about pretending or acting or faking. And hopefully as much as I'm speaking to a camera, I can sense and feel that you guys are already shifting energetically, hopefully, emotionally, mindset wise, that you recognize that it's okay to be you. It's just about tweaking a few things. So as I wrote in the book, people are drawn to realness. They crave honesty, vulnerability, and depth. The more you embrace your true self, the more effortlessly you attract the right opportunities, relationships, and experiences. And I'm speaking from firsthand experience. The more that you dive into your real self and bring that forth, the more that you're going to see opportunities are going to come your way. People will start knocking on your door. You'll get those messages on LinkedIn. "Hey, I have this opportunity for this project or this engagement or this job." You'll start seeing that those things start to pop up. And like I said, I'm speaking from firsthand experience, but I'm also speaking from the experience of my clients as well. Okay, so who doesn't want more opportunities to come to us? Instead of forcing things to happen, we draw them in. All right. And then my book. Okay. So my book is now also ranked number 7, or at least yesterday it was, as an Amazon bestseller. And this is Amazon Canada. Amazon US, it was number 9. That was the peak at one point. And it's still on pre-order. Okay. So it's not out just yet, but I'm hoping that you guys can help me to get it to number 1. And this is the message of my book, The Quiet Achiever. All right, so 5 communication mistakes that you are making in the workplace. So let's go through some of the things that you might be doing that you're not realizing could be hurting you a little bit. Not in a bad way, but just things that could be tweaked. Number 1, believing that the results of your hard work, your long hours, your extra attention to detail should speak for itself, right? Who feels this way? That, okay, if I just work hard enough, and that's what I was also raised to believe when I was in the accounting world. Oh, I just have to work those long hours. I just have to put in my time and people will recognize me for it. But instead, I end up getting let go, no matter how hard I worked. Right. And so what's the solution? The solution is from a communication perspective. There's so many things, but from just this one aspect, consistently provide efficient progress updates, tell stories, keep others in the loop by explaining how your work impacts the overall goal and why it matters. That's the difference is that one, you're working hard and staying silent versus two, you're working hard and you're keeping others up to date on the things that you're working on. So that's a very simple tip that I have for you because I want you to walk away with some things to keep in mind. Mistake number two, waiting to be recognized rather than asking for what you want. So what's the solution? Instead of waiting to be recognized, I mean, I think you can hear it. It's that you do need to advocate and promote yourself, not by being fake, but it's not just at the performance review meeting, by the way. This is a consistent, subtle process. If you are waiting to be recognized without showing up intentionally every single day, your value might stay hidden. Okay. So waiting is not when I talked about attracting opportunities, we're not sitting and waiting for those opportunities to come to us. We're still doing things in the process and then those opportunities come to us. So there's a difference. So you're going to have to lean more into how do I communicate in a way that's going to get people to recognize and see my value without me feeling like I have to show off, without me feeling fake about it. Mistake number three, not trusting your voice in meetings. So this is where I think most of you can resonate with, where you try to speak up, you want to say something, share an opinion, but it just doesn't land the way that you want it to. It comes off a little strange. So anchor yourself in your expertise. That is what I teach. Speak to contribute, not to impress. You have to know your value. I've spoken about this many times. Knowing your value means what do you know best compared to everyone else? And you want to anchor yourself from that place and pivot from there. So you're speaking from your level of expertise, you're speaking from what you understand and what you know, but you're then also having to tie it into everyone else and make sure that it's relevant for them. And there's a whole process and technique for that. But if you start knowing your value, that's where to begin. Okay. Mistake number four. Kelly says, Linda, you helped me 5 years ago to improve my interview skills. I'm forever grateful. Amazing. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat box. I'm just getting into it. But if this is resonating with you, tell me. Okay, let me know if you guys are resonating with these mistakes. Minimizing yourself to fit in. I don't know anything about sports. Okay, so this is another one that I hear about is where, as quiet achievers, we like what we like. We have our own interests, and there are people in our workplace who have other types of interests, and we don't feel like we fully belong with them sometimes because they talk about things that we may not resonate with. And in certain cases, maybe let's say it's sports. I'm not a sports person at all, so I will not be able to contribute to a sports conversation. However, that doesn't mean that I should say nothing, and that doesn't mean that we shouldn't include ourselves. Okay, this is about us giving ourselves the time and space to be able to add value and also to connect with others. It's giving ourselves the opportunity. So what that means is finding unique angles to connect with people at work is vital. Unique angles. So it doesn't have to be about sports if you don't like sports, but finding common ground is key. And so it's something that I call the investigator approach. And this all comes down to small talk, developing strong relationships with others, connecting with others, networking. This is all part of it. But it's about finding common ground and how do you anchor yourself in that common ground from there, and then you can extend yourself into further, deeper conversations and deepen your relationships and bonds. Okay. All right. And then mistake number five, being a doer, not a strategic leader. This I've heard has also been one of the biggest ones is that you show up, you do your job, but you're not necessarily seen as that impactful strategic leader that people come to for guidance. And so what's the solution? The solution is not about doing more. It's actually having a stronger, well-rounded level of self-awareness, understanding of, and I say the Western workplace because some people, English isn't their first language, but we're talking about the Western workplace, North American, European, strategies, frameworks, and real practice scenarios to cement your new approach to speaking in a confident way at work. So it's really about having self-awareness of yourself, awareness of others, and then knowing the right approach and frameworks and strategies. That's where the practical implementation comes in on how to communicate. Okay, so these are the 5 mistakes that you may be making. And when we're talking about communication, let's get to the root of your issues. So on the surface, you're saying, yeah, Linda, I make all those mistakes. And so the reason is that I just don't know how to speak up, or I need to learn how to communicate better. That's the surface. And remember at the very beginning, I said what you're going to learn about communication is different than anywhere else. Well, this is it. Okay. What I'm telling you is that actually, it's not that you need to learn necessarily just only how to communicate better, but the reality is that your voice energetically is blocked. And if you know me, you know that I love talking about energy. I love talking about beliefs. I love talking about how that all plays a role in how we show up in the world. And when we're talking about chakras, if you guys are familiar with chakras or yoga, anyway, we all have different chakra. I mean, we all have chakras in our bodies, but each chakra is serves a different purpose. And when we're talking about the throat chakra, that is where our voice is expressed. And what I can honestly say, if you're finding that you know that you have something to share, an opinion to share, an idea to share, but it's not coming out the right way, it's because energetically your throat chakra is blocked. And why would it be blocked? Due to deeper issues, upbringing, childhood programming, fear based beliefs that you still hold on to, cultural influences. So maybe you were born in maybe an Eastern or South Asian culture, but you are working in the Western world. Introverted tendencies to stay safe by being alone. So it's more that we prefer to be alone or be with ourselves. And so when we're having to deal with others, especially people we don't feel safe around, our voice closes up. Okay. Lack of clarity in who you want to become or how you want to show up. If you don't know what that version of you looks like, that confident, authentic version of you looks like, it'll be hard for you to show up as that version. Effective communication techniques, framework, strategies that what is that? That others. Okay. Well, it's really effective communication techniques, frameworks, and strategies. That's also a reason why you can't communicate. But there's a whole slew of other things that go beneath the surface, right? And so if you look at this, I asked ChatGPT to come up with an with an infographic for me to try to explain this concept. But on the surface, this is an iceberg. On the surface of the iceberg, you're saying, I just need to communicate better. But really, to communicate better, all of these things need to be addressed. Okay, it's your programming, fear-based beliefs, all the things that I just mentioned. And on top of that, of course, you need to learn the communication techniques and frameworks. But just learning the frameworks, if I just taught you a whole bunch of frameworks and techniques alone, some of you have done Toastmasters, some of you have done communications type courses and learned these things. You've learned this in school, maybe you've had practice with this, but for whatever reason, even though you know it up here, it doesn't come out here. And again, it comes down to the underlying reason. Okay, tell me if you resonate with this. Say resonate, resonate. And then Catherine says, I think a lot of it is down to confidence as well. Yes, confidence comes when is a natural byproduct when you are able to address the deeper blocks that are holding you back from feeling confident. Confident actually is a natural result of doing inner work. That is what I know to be true. You feel much more at ease and in flow with yourself when you don't have gunk sitting within you energetically that's keeping you feeling low, keeping you held back, holding you back. Okay. Resonate. Love it. Thank you guys. Okay. So the point here is that communication isn't just about words, it is a byproduct. Communication and confidence are byproducts of how you view yourself, how you feel about yourself, and what you say to yourself at a deeper subconscious level. You will communicate more confidently if how you feel, or what you say to yourself are calm, grounded, and positive. But here's the kicker, okay? If you're anxious and you're driven by fear-based beliefs and you're telling yourself negative thoughts, that's how your communication suffers. But also, you can't just then say, well, I'm just going to say positive things to myself. Because if you don't clear out, it's like a pipe. If you have a pipe that is clogged with gunk in it and you don't clear out the pipe, nothing will flow out of it. You have to first clear out the pipe, the gunk, go beneath the surface of the iceberg, actually work through what's underneath the surface. So then your communication becomes clear. So then you feel more confident and at ease within yourself. You can't feed yourself positive thoughts if your pipe's already full, if that makes sense. The positive thoughts will resonate and will actually align with you when you've removed the inner blocks. Okay, that's the process in that. Now, common scenarios where you may struggle to communicate confidently, how to deliver a presentation that is engaging, influential, gets buy-in. So maybe at work, you're someone that has to give updates and presentations to your teams. And instead of delivering a quote unquote boring presentation that just is just updating people, how can you deliver it in a way that actually gets people to think differently or engage with you or go along with your ideas or your recommendations? How to contribute ideas and opinions in meetings in a way that you are seen and heard, in a way that people say, wow, she brings a great idea across, or he has good ideas to say. How to deal with difficult personalities. This is where you might struggle with communication as well. If you're dealing with someone who is maybe a little bit more confrontational, a little bit more extroverted, or more just loud. How to speak in a warm, competent, assertive way versus aggressive or cold. This is what can happen. I've seen a lot of quiet achievers where we know that, we're working on our communication skills. And in order to assert ourselves, we end up going the opposite direction of way too assertive, way too harsh, maybe way too blunt, perhaps. And that's where then we're still not seen in the way that we want to be seen, or we're not delivering information the way that we want to. So it's really about how do we deliver in a warm, competent, assertive way. How to answer an impromptu question. I saw someone in the comments say how to answer an impromptu question without shaking or sounding nervous. Okay, we're going to talk about this and how to negotiate successfully. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and that this is where you guys struggle with your communication. And this is probably where you're on a regular basis, you're dealing with this. And that low level anxiety is sitting within you each time you're coming up with one of these scenarios. Okay, so what is your biggest mistake when it comes to confident communication? Even though I named those other 5 mistakes, the biggest mistake is inadequate preparation. And I am not talking about not enough data or research or information. I know you guys know your information, you have the expertise, but the mistake that you're making is that you are not preparing yourself for the environments, the people, and the situations that you're stepping into. When you're going into a meeting, you have to know what is the territory what does that territory look like? What does the lay of the land look like? What are the people? What is the situations? What's the energy of that situation or that conversation going to be like? You're not preparing yourself in that way, is what I mean. So, for example, think about it like going into battle. Soldiers don't just train with their weapons, they also have to study the terrain that they're going to be going into battle with. So they need to know if there are mountains to climb, if there are rivers to cross, if there are landmines to avoid. And so the same goes for communication. It's not just about your skills, it's about who's going to be in the room. And we're not calling them enemies, but just who else is there. Okay. They're not your enemies. They're your coworkers, but it's who else is in the room, preparing what is the landscape going to look like? What is the conversation going to be around? What is the goals? What are the goals that are going to be discussed? Knowing how to show up from that perspective. Success comes from both preparation and understanding of the lay of the land. Tell me if this makes sense to you, this whole idea of preparing yourself to go into battle. I mean, I don't want you to think of it in that sort of adversarial way, but it really is about understanding the territory, the lay of the land. Does this resonate? Say yes, yes. Rowena says yes. Dinah, yes. Clear as crystal. Lisa, okay, love it. Because that really is what this is about. You guys are going in with all your data, facts, information, and you're like, okay, I just have to say these things. And you're approaching it your one way, but you're not immersing yourself in the conversation the way that the energy is flowing. You're not aligning yourself with the energy of that conversation and the people and the environment and the situation. Okay. So, what's the process to go from quiet to confident in your career? It is to implement my CALM framework, CALM, CALM framework, to become a calm, confident, trusted leader. I love that it's calm because I know that's what you guys want to feel, right? You guys want to feel calm at work. You don't want to feel anxious. You don't want to feel doubtful. And Fozen says, what does it mean by grounded in communication? Thank you. Grounded means calm. How about that? Calm communicator. Let's become calm communicators where we speak with ease, we speak with relevance, we're able to bond and connect and relate to others when we're speaking. We're not just listing facts. Okay, so how do we do this? What are the 4 key components to calm when you want to go from quiet to confident leader? C, it starts with clarity, calling in your ideal self. You guys might not think this is relevant, but it absolutely is, because if you don't have clarity on who you are becoming or want to become, you will not be able to become that version of you. You will stay the version of you that is anxious and doubtful. So connect with the confident, capable, and authentic leader you want to become. Visualize and embody your strengths, skills, and unique value. Know it. Learn it, write it down, acknowledge it for yourself. Outcome is you begin to gain a clear vision of the version of you who deserves to be heard and recognized as a trusted leader. We need the vision first before we can do anything else. It's not about just jumping in and start saying things. You have to know the version of you that you're going to be stepping into. And so to do this, you ask yourself and maybe journal later on after this session, what does the version of me who is confident look like, speak like, walk like, carry him or herself like? How do they appear in the world? How do they show up in the world? How do they approach their day? How do they view themselves? How do they interact with their coworkers, with clients, with vendors, with, senior management, whoever it is, these high stakes individuals? How do they show up? Okay, start to visualize and get some clarity over that version. All right. Lisa says, beginning with the end in mind. Yes. Catherine says, like a cucumber. Calm as a cucumber. Yes. Cool as a cucumber. I was like, what? Cucumber? Love that. All right. So that's C. Okay. Of the calm framework. Then A is address inner blocks. Because guess what? And this is what I know to be true from my own experience and from the clients that I work with. As soon as you start visualizing that ideal version of yourself, what happens? You start to feel a little bit uneasy after you've done the visualization because you're like, well, I'm not there yet. And that's where the resistance occurs. That's where the resistance starts to rise. So now it's about identifying the internal barriers that are keeping you quiet because it feels safer to be where you've been versus stepping into this new version. And that's where we need to work. That's what we need to work with is the barriers that are holding you, trying to keep you to stay down. So it's about releasing the fears, the doubts, the old patterns that block your authentic expression by revisiting your story, your childhood, your programming. In my book, The Quiet Achiever, I help you through this process. Okay. I talk a lot about revisiting your story because it really is important to know where you're going. You need to know where you came from. It helps. It helps you. Maybe you don't need to know everything, but you need to understand yourself enough. There's self-awareness that comes from revisiting your story. Okay. And that means a lot of tears sometimes. It means releasing that pent up energy, the anxiety that you have. So, yes, crying is a good thing. I tell everyone this. You need to cry more if you want to address your inner blocks. You need to cry more. So, you'll feel freer to speak up and show up without self sabotage or imposter syndrome. If you think that you can suppress what you're holding in, and still be this confident version, I can tell you, it just, your body will not be able to handle both. It can't handle the suppression and the doubt and the fear and the anxiety and also the confidence piece. That's not going to feel authentic. It's actually going to be that fake confidence that we were talking about. Okay, so, and you probably have experienced this and maybe this resonates. So to do this, you want to start identifying the pain point where you feel the anxiety, the stress, the tension in your body. And I talk about this in the book, The Quiet Achiever, where you fill in this sentence. I am feeling blank. So whatever it is that you're feeling, the anxiety, the stress, the disappointment, the fear, the whatever, describe it fully because I choose to believe blank. You are choosing to believe something that is causing the feeling that you have right now. If I asked you, how do you feel about my headphones? You would say, I feel nothing. They're just headphones. Yeah, because you don't have any beliefs necessarily associated to these headphones, probably. But if I said Donald Trump and whatever you feel about him, I don't, it's not the point. But you probably have an emotional reaction as soon as I say that name, because maybe you have certain beliefs associated to that name. So it comes down to what you believe will result in the emotions that you're feeling. So if you're feeling anxiety, it's because you believe something about yourself that's causing that anxiety. And so that's where we need to get to. Okay, so that's step 2. And this is what I walk people through when I go through my Quiet to Confident program. It's how to address the inner blocks. From there, L is, of course, leveling up your communication skills. So how are you going to implement highly effective communication techniques in real situations, meetings, presentations, conversations? You want to learn strategies to influence, persuade, communicate clearly without overselling yourself. And the key is to tell compelling stories, learning how to tell compelling stories, because what's going to happen is people are going to listen, respect, and respond to your voice when you know how to communicate. And so, as an example, okay, when it comes to communication, I have to say this. You guys are probably thinking, Linda, teach me everything you know about communication. Well, there's a lot to communication. There are a lot of frameworks that I could throw at you. But again, you now are realizing, oh, it's not just communication. That's just one component, one of multiple components. So I'll give you one framework to start with that will help you with your next meeting. And that is the SAY framework, SAY, speak with authenticity. So when you start, let's say you want to share an opinion about something or an idea, you don't just share that opinion and idea bluntly. That's being blunt and too assertive, right? Instead, you want to express what you observe or see about the situation. So you want to get people to understand the context as to what you are seeing, what you're observing, what's happening. And so you're going to share that. Then A is assess your thoughts. And I'll give an example after. A is assess your thoughts. What is your thought process regarding your observation? So you observe this. Now, what's the thought process? What is that leading you to? And then from there is your recommendation. So that's where you share your perspective confidently and authentically. So, and then you tell them what steps to take. So, for example, if we say, see the situation, understand the context and what's really happening, acknowledge what's going on first, get people on common ground first before you communicate. So, what I mean by that is, you're not just going bluntly into the idea. You have to set the groundwork first. So, you would say something like, this is what I'm observing, or here's what I'm hearing, or I agree with what John said or what Susie said. And so you're piggybacking off of somebody else, but you're essentially starting your idea, you're voicing your opinion with getting people on common ground, what you're observing, what you're seeing, what you're sensing, to add on to what John said or Susie said, and then you're adding on from there. Okay, so that's the S. Then A, assess your thoughts. So you're going to walk them through your thought process. So this implies that, so this would mean that this may result in, okay, so based on what I'm observing, this probably means that this will happen. Based on what I'm hearing, this likely is going to happen, or this might be the result or scenario. Okay. So does this make sense so far? Let me know if you're liking the say, write the word say in the comments. And then finally, why your recommendation. Share your perspective confidently and authentically. Decide what next steps you want to take. Okay, so this is it. You just say, so what I recommend is, okay, great. You guys are all saying say. The solution I would suggest is, all right, so that's it. So that's just an example, but there's so many because that's not even telling a story. That's not how to negotiate. That's not convincing. There's so many other aspects that, to thrive as a quiet achiever in your career, you really need to hone in on all the different ways to communicate effectively. Strong communication is all about, and I've already said this before, telling compelling stories, knowing how to influence others to buy into your ideas, holding interesting conversations to deepen your relationships and bonds, knowing how to sell yourself without sounding cocky or like you're bragging, knowing how to deliver information in a compelling way. Okay, these are all just beyond just giving an update at work or giving an opinion at work. Those are other ways to communicate confidently. All right, M. Final stretch, map your career growth plan to go from quiet to confident. So you're thinking, okay, I hope that if I just do CAL, that should be enough to get me to career growth. But actually, you also need a map. You also want to have a plan to guide you, the path that feels clear for you, to know what next steps and milestones you need to take if you want to get to a certain level or you want to grow or whatever it is that you're wanting. You don't want to be waiting around hoping somebody's going to give you something that you want. You need to have a plan for that. That's part of the CALM framework. So let's say you want to go to project coordinator to project manager or senior manager to director or analyst to senior analyst. I've helped people do all of these elevations or promotions in their careers. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you want to be a C-suite person if you're not there yet. Okay, so here are the choices that you have. All right. Option 1 is to keep doing what you're doing and hope your communication confidence and opportunities will come to you without changing your approach. Okay. And so you can keep reflecting and staring at the sky, not to say if that doesn't work for you, then option 2 is to get my book, The Quiet Achiever. And you can also get one-on-one help from me. This is a very limited time thing that I'm offering, and get all the resources I can possibly provide you. And I want to give you all those resources. So what I mean by this is that I am offering you guys a special one-time offer only available for the next 24 hours. And it's only available for you guys because you're in this workshop, really. And so I only have so many time slots, but essentially, I want to offer you what I call Speak Like a Leader special package. It's finally know how to speak up, share your ideas, and be seen as the confident, trusted leader that you are. And the 24-hour countdown starts now for this, where with this, you're going to get several things, okay? You're going to receive a VIP one-on-one 60-minute private coaching session with me. And I'm going to help you one-on-one to refine your stories, your communication strategy. If you have an interview coming up, if you have an important meeting coming up, maybe you have a negotiation meeting that you have coming up because performance reviews are going to be coming up just around the corner in the next few months. Maybe you have a presentation. I can help you with that. I can help you refine in this session. Okay. So you get one-on-one time with me. I actually don't offer one-on-ones anymore, but this is something that I'm offering because of my book, The Quiet Achiever. I'm also going to give you access to my Stand Out Get Hired program that has helped thousands of professionals land job offers. And when I'm talking about Stand Out Get Hired, I mean the resume, top-notch interview, cover letter, LinkedIn, the what else? Negotiation strategy workshop, everything that you need, step by step. You literally just have to follow it. Okay. And thousands of people have landed job offers, as you've seen before. 3 copies. I'm also going to send you, because I want to spread the word of the Quiet Achiever, 3 copies of the Quiet Achiever to share with your friends and family. Okay. If you have friends who are, or family who are quiet achievers, I'd love for them to read the book as well. Okay, so the regular of 2000 whatever, but I'm offering this, and I've never done this before. I'm telling you, I'm in all honesty, guys, I've never offered this at this price before, but it's $497. So you get a one-on-one with me. You get my entire suite of Stand Up Get Hired. So get your next job offer step by step, and you're going to get 3 copies of my book, The Quiet Achiever, to pass on to your friends and family. But it's the caveat is it's only for the next 24 hours. Okay. And so that's until 1 p.m. Eastern today. Okay, so if you have an interview coming up, you need me to help you. I honestly, I don't give one-on-ones. I don't do this. This is not something that I do. But I'm offering it to you as a special because honestly, it's the book. I want people to spread the message about the book. I want you guys to spread the message about the book. So you're going to get 3 copies, but you're also going to get my Stand Up Get Hired program, and I get to work with you. I would love to help you, one-on-one session, okay? And we can do that together. If you guys want this, I would say click on the link. So in the chat box, there is the link right there. My husband, Matt, he actually just put in the link, Speak Like a Leader package. It's Speak Like a Leader is what it's called. You just have to click on the link and in the next 24 hours. So that means 1 p.m. Eastern Friday is I'm cutting it off because I only have so many time slots and I don't have a lot of time. And you might be wondering, oh, but is a 60-minute session with Linda enough to do well in my next interview, presentation, or meeting? And I would have to say, yes, I'm very confident that I have the expertise, the experience, and the skills to help you in a one-on-one setting, in a 1-hour session, to help you direct your communication differently. Because if you don't do this, what would happen? Your communication stays the same. Now, you could go to someone else, you could go to ChatGPT, you could go on YouTube, you could do all those things. But when it comes to communication, what I've realized and understood over the last 10 years is when you have someone who can look exactly in your eyes, I mean, through Zoom, as best as we can, understand and hear exactly the way that you're communicating and help you to tweak it differently, help you to shift it differently, that changes the course of how you communicate moving forward. And I've done that time and time again for my clients that are in my other programs. And I'm confident that I can help you with that, especially if you have interviews coming up or you're finding that something's going on at work in the way that you are communicating with your boss and you're really wanting to get some structure around it. I can support you. A presentation coming up, I can help you with that as well. Just last week, I delivered a workshop to Harvard medical students. So you would think, even Harvard medical students, they struggle with their communication. And we're all the same. We're all human beings. We're all quiet achievers, at least the ones that are in this space. And we all have these, inner doubts and wondering, am I speaking the way that that's coming across confidently? And so I'm confident that I can help you. Okay. And so this is Vicky here. I gained the communication skills I needed to present myself strategically and confidently in front of potential employers and landed an amazing job offer. I worked with her one-on-one a while back, but she also took the Stand Out Get Hired courses as well. And so if you're wondering, well, what's in Stand Out Get Hired? It's the exact method. You will get access to all of it. You'll get top-notch resume, top-notch interview, cover letter workshop, LinkedIn profile magnet. Again, it's only for the next 24 hours that I'm offering this. However many happens, I would I'll make it work. Okay. We'll book it. We'll figure it out in terms of our one-on-one sessions. All right. So if you guys want it, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. All right. We only have the next 24 hours for you to do this. And this is Calvin, actually. He joined Standout Get Hired and he landed his senior program manager dream job position earlier this year, just a few months back. I did a video call with him. I learned a lot about branding and storytelling. I learned to speak in a way that would engage my coworkers and managers. I feel much more confident in how I communicate and feel respected and recognized as a leader. Okay. Hopefully you want to feel the same way as Calvin. If you are wanting, if you're either you're looking for a job or you're in your job right now, you're wanting to elevate the way that you communicate, I can help you through the one-on-one and you'll have access to Stand Up Get Hired. And you have my book, multiple copies of it to pass around. This is Herky. I revamped my resume using Stand Up Get Hired, top-notch resume with better clarity, focus, and professionalism. And no kidding, I immediately got so much response that I could barely handle it. Now I'm working in my dream job for a big financial company earning very well. And Herky was in a, she wasn't in the most positive situation before she landed this Fortune 500 job offer. She was working sort of part-time. Her resume was not at the level that it should have been. And I supported her with that by offering her the Stand Up Get Hired courses. And she took them and she worked through them. Now, you might be thinking, okay, when it comes to all of this, like, oh, I could just go to ChatGPT. I could just go online and I'll just figure it all out. Sure, you can. Absolutely. But I'm giving you an opportunity to work with me. I'm giving you access to exactly what you need if you are looking for a job or if you're about to look for a job at some point in the next few months to a year. I mean, the truth is we don't know what's going on with the market right now and we need to be prepared, right? So if you are wanting to be prepared, and you want to have that confidence, it starts with doing something. And hopefully that doing something is to get the Speak Like a Leader package. Okay, guys? So I will leave that up for you guys. It's in the comments again. If you're looking for, if Matt, you don't mind putting out the link again for those individuals. I see some comments are coming through. But if you guys can, the earlier you book, the better, because my schedule is very busy with the book launch going on. Let's see. What else can I tell you? Okay, so here you go. Speak Like a Leader. Link is in the chat box only. I don't have the link here for you to click on, but this is the link for the book. If you just want to get the book by itself, that's fine. But in the chat box, okay, you guys will then get access to. So click on the link in the chat box, even if you have to think about it for the next like 10 minutes or whatever, because it's not on here. It's not on the slides. All right. Okay. And the one-on-one doesn't have to happen in the next 24 hours. I'm not doing that. The one-on-one, I'm very flexible. So we can book within the next 6 months, we can book it. Okay. So it's whenever you feel like, okay, I really want to take advantage and want to use this, but at least you have that because again, I don't offer one-on-ones. That is not my plan moving forward. This is just something that I wanted to offer to you to get you to move forward in your communication, in your confidence, in your career, and to get the Quiet Achiever book as well. Okay, guys. Hopefully this is helpful. Okay. And also a lot of people have been asking, how can they work with me? This is another opportunity to work with me, but this is obviously this is my new signature program that is stemming off of the book. It's called Quiet to Confident, and it is application only. There is no special or anything with this. It is more that if you actually want to take yourself to the next level in your career and you want more guidance, my Quiet to Confident is a program that potentially could be of help to you. So I would say apply at lindarainer.com/QTC. You can click on lindarainer.com/QTC, go there and you can apply and put yourself on the wait list. My program, this next cohort is starting in November. We've had amazing results with the last cohort. And as an example, Iris here, she said, Quiet to Confident helped me put everything I've learned over the years into a clear structure I could actually use. I'd picked up a lot over the last few years, but it was all scattered in my mind and helped me organize my thoughts, reflect on what I was doing well, build the kind of communication skills I wish I had learned earlier in my career. And she also taught me what authentic leadership looks like. Coming from an Asian background where I was taught to follow rules and respect authority, Linda showed me that I can lead by being myself. Again, it's all about authenticity and how do we step into our authenticity as leaders. Dong Yi here, she's actually a Harvard Medical grad and she was looking for a job and she didn't take my stand up get hired, but she learned small talk from quiet to confident. So this is the thing is that its communication is so well rounded. There's so many aspects, it's so many facets that once you learn certain techniques, it can help you in different situations. So in this case, she actually learned, it was through our small talk session in Quiet to Confident, where she was able to then move her interviews forward to get the job offer that now she's working in, the company that she's working in. But it didn't have necessarily to do with the typical interview stuff. But you'll get both. If you get the Speak Like a Leader package, you'll get me to help you in that one-on-one, and you'll also get Stand Out Get Hired, the full suite of methods that you need to learn. Okay, so are you feeling empowered to step into your authentic confidence? Option one, get Speak Like a Leader. Again, only available for the next 24 hours, and it's just specifically to you guys. The link is in the chat box. Option two is to join the wait list, or you can do both. Okay, you can get the Speak Like a Leader, and we can talk about jumping on a call to get you to see if you're interested in if you're a fit actually for Quiet to Confidence. So lindarayner.com/QTC. Okay, guys. So, how are you guys all feeling? Are you guys feeling motivated? Do you feel more at ease about where you're heading feel more empowered with your communication? Let me know. And if you have gotten the Speak Like a Leader package, let us know as well. I would love to see it. All right. Let's see. Yingmin says, how much is QTC? So QTC is a four-figure program. Okay, four figures. It's less than $5,000, but just so you know, it's in that range. Okay. If you are interested and you apply, when we talk, I can share with you what I'm doing right now as bonuses and discounts that I'm offering for those that are joining this November cohort, because I will be offering that. And so it won't be the $5,000; it'll be less than that. But just so you know, that's in the range of where it's at. It's an investment in yourself. Okay. Raymond says, feeling very enlightened and motivated to improve my communication skills. Thank you, Linda. Amazing. So glad to hear that. Now, does anyone have any questions? Anything at all that you want to ask before we go? How much time do we have left? Okay, so good. It's just been just over an hour. Excellent. I'll give another 10 minutes or so if anybody has any questions or anything you want to ask related to Speak Like a Leader, related to Quiet to Confident, related to communication in general, if there's anything that you need. Fauzan says, clear and great motivation. Lisa says, have you worked with designers before or have case studies prepared for interviews like design case studies? So product design. Yes, actually, one of my clients, I guess I didn't include her testimonial in here. She's a lead product manager. She was a product manager before, and then she ended up getting like, I guess lead product is, I guess like the senior version, senior manager version. She ended up getting that. And we talked through in our interview prep session. This was when I was doing more one-on-ones. We talked through the way that she would showcase her stories to her storytelling. So this is what you have to understand about communication and telling stories, Lisa, is that you're the one that has the technical knowledge. I'm the one that gives structure to your technical, meaning I will help you to understand what's the strategy in how you would communicate what you already know to someone. I don't need to know your product design knowledge to be able to tell you how to tell a good story related to that. It's what's the components that matter when you're talking about telling a story, when you're showcasing your value, when you're sharing an opinion or an idea. How are you putting the right components together? And how are you doing it in a way that flows and that lands and resonates with the person that you're speaking with? That's ultimately that's what good communication is about. It's about how are you resonating with the person that you're speaking to, making sure that they understand what you're saying in a clear, concise way, not just dumping a whole bunch of technical details on their lap, right? Okay. So Yingmin says, forgive me, perhaps silly question. We don't need three copies of the book as a special offer still at 497. Yes, because the truth is you're getting the 101 and you're getting the full suite of Stand Out Get Hired. The three copies, if you really think about it, it's like a bonus. I'm giving you these three books to give away. And I understand that, you're, oh, I don't need three copies. I know nobody needs three copies, but you have friends, you have family. It's really about the point is that you can share that with your family and friends. Okay. But ultimately it's the value comes in being able to work with me one on one, which if you look on my website, if you were to ever find that website, which I've tried to hide, but my one on one hourly rate, I've upped it to $1,000 an hour just simply because I don't have the time for that. And my focus now more is on this bigger message. So I'm only offering this for a very, very limited, this is a very limited opportunity. So if you really want to take advantage, you can use the Speak Like a Leader. I want to gift that to you, but that's not part of the business model moving forward. Just due to my own ideal authentic career path and where I'm going and where I know I'm going, with the bigger opportunities that I'm getting and the Quiet to Confident program that is going to be my main focus. The one-on-ones is not going to be a priority. Okay. All right. Lisa says, thank you so much. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Long says, how can I register a one-on-one session with you for my interview coming up? So what you have to do, Long, is go into Speak Like a Leader. Okay. Buy the Speak Like a Leader package. Once you do that, you're going to get an email. The email is going to give you access to my calendar. We're also going to send you the Stand Out Get Hired, and we're also going to ask for your address, your home address, so we could send you the three books once they come out in the next few weeks. Okay, guys. So hopefully that makes sense, Long, and we'll make sure that if your interview is coming up soon, we'll make it work because I want to help you. I don't want you to feel like I'm talking to you 6 months from now. I will help you as soon as possible. Okay, this is a priority for me. Is the Speak Like a Leader. So get Speak Like a Leader in the next 24 hours, and we can work together. Okay, and Charles says, has the Top Notch resume been updated? Yes, it has. It has been updated. It's not the older version that was available before. I have updated it. Okay, and that was just earlier this year that it's been updated. Panagiotis says, a technician without a university degree could be a leader? Yes. Actually, one of the professional associations I work with that has engaged with me to do a whole 6 series communication workshop series for them, for their members. They have like 30,000 members here in Ontario. The people that are the members are technicians. What are they called? They're called engineering technicians. They're not engineers, but they're called engineering technicians. So I guess they help the engineers. And ultimately, it's about how are they going to show up in their jobs as engineering technicians? How do they show up as the leaders that they're meant to be in their role? Because you don't want to come across as a doer. You're tired of that. As quiet achievers, we're not doers. We are truly leaders inside. We just don't know how to express it. And communication is your key. Even Robert Herjavec, I think that's how you say his last name. I don't know if he's a billionaire now, but he's like the multimillionaire that was on Shark Tank, that is on Shark Tank. He's the Canadian. Anyways, I've heard him say consistently, time and time again. I actually really admire him. I like him. I feel he is quite authentic. And he says communication skills is the most important skill you can ever have. And the reason for that is because on Shark Tank, he said that there was this one individual who presented their product, but they couldn't communicate properly. They couldn't explain or describe or articulate why their product was valuable. And because of that, even though the product was good, or at least it seemed good, he didn't go with him because he's like, I can't work with someone who doesn't know how to communicate. Communication skills really can hold you back in your life, in your career, if you don't master it, if you don't master them. And it's not just about, oh, how do I just say certain phrases? It goes so much deeper than that. It is a full on deep transformation that you need to go through if you really want to be able to express yourself naturally, authentically. You already have it within you, but the reason why it's not happening is because you're blocked. And we need to unblock that. And we need to rejig things from within so that outwardly you can communicate clearly and you can communicate with conviction. You can communicate with calm, ease, and confidence. Okay. Matthew, yes, he was on Dragon's Den and now in Shark Tank. Yes, yes, that's right. Okay. So what's going on here? What are people asking? What are people asking? I have a question about telling stories. It feels when I tell a story, I feel like I have to entertain or impress, and I resent that. Oh, yeah, I know, me too. Is there a better approach that won't make me feel that way? So, telling stories is not about entertaining necessarily someone else, but if you tell a good story, it will naturally be entertaining. Because if you understand story structure, then you understand that what goes into a story is what's going to draw someone in. It's really about the way that you tell your story. It's more about the components that go into it, how concise you can be. But as you go through the story, people will naturally be drawn in and magnetized and want to hear more about the story because of how you're structuring it. It's story structure at the end of the day. But this is the thing is that you can learn story structure. And I've had many people that have, come to me for help saying like, I've learned how to how to deliver a presentation. I've learned how to do a keynote speech. I've learned all of these things, but it doesn't come out. And that's the other side of it is that there's the structure up here, but that then there's the implementation from here. It's how is it coming out from within you? And so if you're feeling as though resentful when you're telling a story, it's because there's something here that's not allowing it to flow naturally. And because it's not flowing naturally, you feel like you have to force it. You feel like you have to really put effort into telling your story or really like exert yourself in a way or act a certain way. That's what we were talking about before at the beginning, right? Forcing your way through to confidently communicating. And that's not what we want because you will drain yourself from doing that. Imagine a lifetime of doing that. You will feel depleted, empty inside. That's not what we want. It's really about now you're at a point in your career. So I'll tell you this, a lot of you guys, and I don't know what you guys are doing right now, but you've probably been working for the last little while, especially if you've been following me for the last 10 years. You've probably gotten to a point in your career where you realize I've worked hard. I've put in all this effort, but now if I want to move up or if I want to accelerate and grow, that something has to change. Working hard isn't enough. It means the way that I communicate, the way that I articulate myself, the way that I show up, my presence, that needs to elevate first before the job does. The job won't come unless you elevate first. Okay. Does that make sense, Dinah? I think I know that but it's so story structure is one, but it's really about, okay, now let's get to the deeper root issue, why the resentment is there. But then also let's talk about the stories that you're telling, and then let's get clarity on how you're articulating it. And the only way really to do that is if I can hear it from you. I need to be able to hear you tell me the story, then I can tune in and tell you what needs to be rejigged. And this is another thing that I've discovered about myself. I feel like I'm just blabbing now, but I'm very good at identifying people's blocks. And I can say that confidently because I went to a mastermind a couple months ago with other entrepreneurs and business coaches and things like that. And it was crazy. Every single person that I had conversation with, they were sharing with me what was going on with them in their businesses, in their work, in their careers that was stalling and feeling stuck. And right away, I could point out, oh, it's actually due to this reason. And when I'm saying due to this reason, it's not something generic. It's actually due to the way that you're seeing this particular thing is causing you to feel this way because it's related to this part of your upbringing. Anyway, I was able to tie it back, and that's part of my own intuitive, energetic abilities is when I'm working with people. So I can honestly say that this new work that I'm getting into is quite different than just teaching frameworks and techniques and strategies. It really is about going from it from a holistic perspective, tuning into you, helping you, guiding you to transform into that version that you're meant to be. Because I've gone through that myself, and my own abilities have opened up to a way that I can support people in this new way. Now, you guys might not buy into that and you might not be ready for that, and that's completely okay. But if you are wanting to work with me, even if just a taste, then Speak Like a Leader is the only opportunity really for that. And otherwise, you can sign up for my program, Quiet to Confident. Okay, lindarainer.com/QTC. All right. What else here? Okay, so we're almost, I think I should end this, shut this down for in about 3 minutes. We're at 117. Thanks, Linda. This has really helped in understanding how your book can help me. I'm comfortable with people, but struggle with being too much or appearing over eager. Yes, I hope your book will help with that. Yes, it will. I hope it will too. And when you guys get the book, please make sure you post a review on Amazon, a 5-star review if possible. I would love it. Also, it just really helps me. I'm already ranked number 7 in Canada, and then I was at number 9 in the US, but I really want to get down to number 1. So if you can help me with that, you guys, and support me, that will really help. Lisa says, Linda, the point about beliefs you shared was impactful today. Thank you for sharing that, Lisa. I'm so happy to hear. Ying says, for the one-on-one, can that be used for getting clarity of what career path to take, or do I need to come with a clear idea in mind on how to get there? We can talk about career clarity. I absolutely can help you with that in that one-on-one for sure. We can definitely talk about that. I've gone through that process myself. Many times, obviously, as you can see, I've shifted my careers many times and it's always taken me to the next level. I've always leveled up. So I can help you with that process and help you to gain clarity. Okay, Dinah, yes, thank you. That is a great answer. Perfect. Lisa, are you psychic? Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to go out and call myself a psychic, but I can definitely say I'm very sensitive and intuitive. Yes. Matthew, thank you for a great seminar regarding your book signing at Indigo at Hillcrest. Should I pre-order your book before your book signing? Yes, you can buy it in the store or you can pre-order. I prefer that you pre-order just in case. The thing is, the bookstores, they're telling me that they might not have so much stock on the day that I come in because the book will have only just come out a few days before and they have to pre-order in advance and all this crazy logistic stuff. So hopefully you guys will be able to already have your book and you could just bring it into the store and I'm happy to sign it. Okay. Okay. So hopefully I get in at Hillcrest because Matt was on the phone with Indigos and he was talking to, I think, Hillcrest to find out if I could do that. So we'll keep you posted. All right, guys. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Um, what time and day will Linda be at signing at Hillcrest? I don't know. Matt has been trying to figure that out. Joey, thank you for the great session and thank you for the great YouTubes that you've made. You are welcome, guys. I am so excited for you guys. So if you want to pre-order the book, you could pre-order. But if you want to work with me, again, Speak Like a Leader, only available in the next 24 hours. And so click on the link. Matt, if you can send the link one more time so that people have it before we go. And just click on the link, at least have it on your browser. And, we can go from there. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. You have a wonderful day, and I am looking forward to seeing all your reviews on Amazon for my book, The Quiet Achiever. Cannot wait. Make sure you guys grab a copy before you go, and I'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye, everyone. Okay. How do I end this?